We are kicking off today with some major contract news, as Triple H will have a crucial decision to make soon, if recent reports are to be believed. According to Fightful Select, Scarlett's contract is set to expire next month. This comes after the news outlet previously revealed that Karrion Kross is in his contract year. However, it is unknown whether his deal ends at the same time. Despite their rise in popularity, the company has yet to approach either for a renewal. However, several people within WWE expect the dominant couple to remain with the company moving forward. They signed a 3-year deal with WWE back in August 2022, so time is ticking, and their decision to bid farewell during a recent episode of Main Event hasn't helped that. They have been appearing on television more frequently lately, with the Harbinger of Doom involved in a feud against Sami Zayn that saw them compete at Night of Champions in an engaging singles match. Scarlett, who hasn't been active full-time, received a standing ovation in Gorilla for her performance a few months ago. Will Triple H re-sign the couple? Only time will tell. In more contract news, Britt Baker hasn't been seen in AEW this year, and her future in the company remains a significant topic for wrestling fans, even though new reports prove it's not as dramatic as it might seem. Body Slam reported that sources have confirmed that Britt Baker is actively seeking to part ways with AEW, although a new report from Fightful Select contradicts that. According to Fightful, those who are familiar with Baker's ongoing situation with the company have claimed that the rumors of her wanting to quit aren't true. The idea of her wanting out of AEW or even communicating that to AEW was news to them, and they had never heard anything resembling that. The former AEW Women's World Champion hasn't been seen since November 2024, with her last run teasing a match with Serena Deeb that never happened. AEW sources have claimed that Baker is open to returning to wrestle on AEW television, yet it's unclear why there's been a delay in making that happen or on which side the fault lies. There had been internal discussions for a match at Double or Nothing, but it's unknown if those talks ever made it to Britt herself. Meanwhile, Baker has fueled speculation that she wants to leave with a cryptic social media post about self-worth and being in the wrong place, which haven't helped people questioning her place in AEW. Baker also joked about her lengthy absence from AEW during Sammy Guevara's vlog at Animeverse, with the dentist wanting the wrestling world to talk about her. However, it appears reports of her wanting to leave are far from the truth, although there are still many question marks surrounding her. Do you think Britt Baker should stay with AEW, or would you rather see her take her talents to WWE? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know how you see this playing out. The Miz has been absent from WWE television in recent weeks due to filming American Gladiators for Amazon Prime, but the production has wrapped, and according to Brian Alvarez, the A-lister is on his way back to WWE. Rumors about his future had been circulating during his absence, although Miz addressed them directly and clarified that his status with the company hasn't changed. Reports had stated that he wiped mentions of WWE from his social media and unfollowed the company, but he shut down those claims in a video message on social media. WWE and I are in very good standings. Like, we just dropped Miz Golf, which is part of WWE's YouTube, he explained in a video while traveling to Gladiators tapings. Before leaving for his filming commitments, Miz had been feuding with Aleister Black, with his last match being on the May 2nd episode of SmackDown. Do you think The Miz should target Aleister Black on his return or start a brand new feud? And if so, who should he team with? Let us know in the comments. Travis Scott had started to become a regular presence on WWE lately and was even reportedly taking on some WWE training. However, things have gone quiet regarding his partnership with the company as of late. WrestleVotes confirmed during a Q&A that before Money in the Bank there had been plans for Scott to appear and lots of merchandise had been specifically designed. However, after the drama with R-Truth, all of those plans were shifted. WWE scrapped those plans after the R-Truth situation went down, opting to pivot. However, the report teased the possibility that Scott's in-ring debut may now happen at SummerSlam, which is an even bigger show. Jonathan Coachman has previously teased the idea that Scott would wrestle at SummerSlam, yet it remains to be seen whether that becomes a reality for the popular rapper, or if he's just the latest celebrity to make a pit stop. In Roman Reigns' absence, Paul Heyman has been growing in confidence due to his partnership with Seth Rollins, with the two men putting together a dominant faction with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Fans have been patiently waiting to learn the name of WWE's latest faction, and while that still hasn't been revealed, Heyman has confirmed his own name, as he will now be known as the Oracle of Seth Rollins. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Another name missing from WWE television is Brock Lesnar, who has been off television for over a year. However, the Beast Incarnate is doing anything but hiding. Lesnar was recently spotted at the gym where he posed with a fan, with Lesnar still looking as jacked as ever, proving that he's remained in ring shape during his time away from wrestling. It was a rare public sighting of the wrestler, who is notorious for enjoying his private life. However, his name has been dragged through the mud because it appeared in the Janelle Grant lawsuit. Lesnar's name was later removed from the case documents, yet the situation as a whole has not, and WWE has been keeping him off television while the legal issues are ongoing. Lesnar was previously spotted by a fan in February, and when asked if he would be returning anytime soon, he said, "We'll see." The former UFC star hasn't had a match since SummerSlam 2023, where he was beaten by Cody Rhodes, and it's been unclear what his future holds ever since. Do you think that Brock Lesnar will ever step foot back in a WWE ring, or is his time done for good? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Another man who hasn't been seen on television for a while is Roman Reigns, but the former tribal chief has now added to the bloodline as his sixth child was recently born. CM Punk delivered a brutal promo to John Cena on SmackDown last week, but while fans were focusing on the various lines he had to offer, people missed a hidden comment he made to his long-term rival. During a Punkonomics video, it was revealed that he had quietly muttered a personal message to Cena in the ring as he whispered, "I'm gonna miss you." It showcased just how close the two men truly are, while also highlighting just how much wrestlers can get away with inside the ring even when the cameras are rolling. This week, the landmark 300th episode of AEW Dynamite took place. It proved to be a special night to remember for the company, and little time was wasted as Hangman Adam Page stormed to the ring. The Cowboy announced that Jon Moxley will need to kill him to stop him, and he challenged Moxley to a Texas death match at All In. However, when Moxley arrived with Marina Shafir in tow, he questioned if that's what he truly wants. Page responded with a clear answer in the form of a slap to the face, and from there, the madness began. A brawl instantly started as Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, and Shafir all jumped Hangman and choked him out. Despite that, Page got back up as the Ops then arrived to protect him, and Hangman once again pushed Moxley for an answer regarding the Texas death stipulation, which he agreed to. That news sent the fans wild, and Page added to that by reminding Moxley he'll do anything to win as he struck Shafir with a buckshot lariat, which stunned the audience. Throughout the segment, it was clear that fans are massively behind Hangman in this one, and his refusal to step down against the Death Riders leader only enhances that. AEW heavily hinted at the Texas death stipulation last week, and now it's official. That guarantees a brutal and explosive match, which is exactly what fans want to see from these two men, and is what they're best at doing. It's going to be a match about hate and how desperate they are to be AEW World Champion, with this segment setting it up perfectly. It was a brilliant situation between the two men, as the tension was palpable. This gave audiences a reason to invest in the All-In main event, which is ultimately what a moment like this is supposed to be about. In the women's division, Mercedes Moné defended her TBS championship against Mina Shirakawa in a physical and exciting match. Despite a personal and consistent attack from the #1 contender, the former WWE superstar narrowly escaped with the gold, courtesy of a small package. Moné added insult to injury after the bell by attacking Shirakawa from behind until Toni Storm made her grand appearance to make the save. However, things didn't quite work out as Moné nailed the timeless wrestler in the back of the head with the TBS title. The CEO then decided to sample some cake and champagne, which she would also throw in Luther's face to further her rivalry with Storm. This title match itself was brilliant and could easily have been at All In due to the quality, with fans buying into Shirakawa as a genuine contender who could beat Moné. Shirakawa put together a brilliant, emotive performance as she really channeled her hatred for Moné with her expressions and the aggressive attitude she brought to the ring. Moné can't hold the TBS and AEW Women's World titles together forever, although losing one before facing Storm at All In would have slightly damaged that match, as it would have dropped the anticipation. Instead, Moné heads into Texas undefeated as she prepares to face one of AEW's top stars in what could be the match of the night. However, Shirakawa proved that she will hold gold at some point in AEW with this performance. One female star no longer with AEW is Saraya, who departed the company earlier this year, and now there's speculation about her returning to the ring, this time for WWE. With Evolution 2 around the corner, many fans are hoping to see the former Divas champion pop up, and Saraya herself has been teasing the idea, adding fuel to the fire. She took to Twitter simply to ask, "Evolution is this weekend?" This sent fans into overdrive with speculation and fantasy booking ideas. However, it was previously reported that WWE hasn't contacted her, so fans shouldn't take too much from this. WWE is an ever-evolving company, and that's never been clearer than in recent times with the partnership between them and TNA Wrestling, which Matt Hardy is getting to be a part of. The WWE legend and current TNA star recently appeared on the Ariel Helwani show, where he credited AEW for helping make that happen. He said, "I would guess because part of it is AEW and its existence." Ariel questioned whether WWE propping up TNA is simply to keep AEW blocked out, and Hardy, who has experience in all three companies, wasn't against the idea. "I think they could obviously have a feasible option. It's helping us. TNA is a company that's been around for 20 years, and they do a style that's similar to WWE, so I think it's a good call and a win-win for everyone." Whether the partnership is being done to spite AEW or simply to grow the industry, wrestling fans are the ones who are benefiting right now, and that's all that matters. Back to Dynamite now, and there was a fatal four-way between MJF, AR Fox, Brody King, and Anthony Bowens to earn a place in the second spot in the men's casino gauntlet, and MJF treated this like it was a simple and routine match. However, it was anything but, as he almost lost multiple times as his three opponents stepped up and pushed him to his limits. However, MJF got the win with the Salt of the Earth on Fox. Post-match, Mark Briscoe invited MJF to meet him next week for a talkie talk, while Jet Speed hit the ring ready for a fight, which led to Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin beating them down. Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey kept getting up from the beatdown as the Jet eventually challenged Benjamin to a match on Collision. This proved they can be the kryptonite of the Hurt Syndicate, which is an interesting idea for AEW to explore. Meanwhile, having Briscoe mock MJF was an entertaining situation. He delivered some hilarious lines ahead of their meeting next week, which, due to their differing mic skills, could be an all-timer of a segment. MJF had made a mockery of the Fatal 4-Way, even getting onto commentary after he had offered to pay Brody King off at the start of the match. However, when he got into the action, MJF proved he can hang with the best. AEW is doing a great job building the Hurt Syndicate's upcoming match, and there seems to be a real chance that Jet Speed could win, which proves that the booking has been effective. There were two Heroes vs. Villains matches this week, with the first seeing the Young Bucks and Konosuke Takeshita take on Bandido and Paragon, which ended up being a thrilling, fast-paced match. The Villains proved to be a well-oiled machine in this match as they picked up a win with the triple EVP trigger and the Raging Fire from Takeshita to Kyle O'Reilly to ensure he couldn't get up. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay then brawled with them afterward, demanding that the Bucks put their EVP titles on the line against them, but the Young Bucks showed no interest in that. Instead, they refused until Ospreay offered to not fight for the AEW World title for a full year if they were on the losing end, setting up an intriguing situation that teases a heel victory. While it's unknown if this is a sign of things to come for the Elite, it was clear that the Young Bucks and Takeshita have great chemistry, which was arguably better than what the tag team have with Kazuchika Okada. It would certainly be intriguing to see what Ospreay and Strickland could do if they can't go for the world title for a full year, and that possibility increases their need to remove the Bucks' EVP power. In the other Heroes vs. Villains match, Strickland and Ospreay competed against La Facción Ingobernable, who had no answers for the two singles stars, even though they argued about the all-in stipulation. Jalistico ended up being the man who was pinned after being hit with a Styles Clash and then a house call, with this being a dominant performance from Ospreay and Strickland, who showed their quality as a team. It helped to make them look unstoppable, which isn't a bad thing given they're facing such a well-established team at All In. However, the manner in which LFI lost didn't particularly help them. Overall, these two matches were done to promote the new Superman movie, and Tony Khan did a great job with the sponsored content by ensuring it didn't distract from the pay-per-view build. There were some corny pre-taped videos with the cast, but nothing hurt the in-ring action or the build toward All In, which is important. We're ending today with AEW's main event, as they also delivered a huge singles match as Kota Ibushi faced Kazuchika Okada for the first time in years, which was a highly anticipated encounter, and the Golden Star didn't hold back from minute one. However, the aftermath had many people talking, as Rocky Romero and Lance Archer teased attacking Ibushi further until Kenny Omega made the save with a steel chair. Omega was then threatened by Trent Beretta for his troubles, but Ibushi recovered and nailed a powerbomb neckbreaker combination with the Golden Lovers hugging to wrap up an action-packed show. Ibushi might not be the same wrestler he once was, however he is in a much better place than when he first joined AEW, which means that his in-ring work is enjoyable to watch. Seeing the Golden Star get back to this level in the ring is exciting for fans, even though he still threw a few weak shots at Okada throughout the match. Yet on the flip side, he delivered some brutal strikes that felt like a throwback to the Ibushi of old. Okada also thrived inside the ring and looked brilliant in himself, with the two stars putting together a brilliant main event that had audiences hooked. It might have been slower than some of the other matches, but it was worthy of closing the show, and will no doubt have excited people about Omega and Okada. What did you think of this anniversary episode of AEW Dynamite? Sound off in the comments below.